It seems to me, from my observations, that Christ is taking his final breaths and shall die out. From my observations, it seems to be this way. Obviously, things could change. Whether that is good or bad, I do not know yet. But you and a lot of other individuals have a hypothesis that I would say holds a lot of weight and substance, that atheists, they do not derive their ethics, their code of conduct or morality from religion. So they now turn to the state. And I was wanting to know if you had any other views on why that is, other than they need to derive their ethics from somewhere. I had my thoughts on this actually, but I wanted to see what you may have to divulge that might not be, I guess, what is typically said. Is that, again, do you think there's anything else there?
What fucking ethics do atheists have? Well, what standards, what universal standards do they have? The fuck are atheist ethics? Somebody tell me. I've been an atheist for many decades. I've talked to countless atheists outside of objectivists, who are a very, very small subset of atheists as a whole. What are atheist ethics? This vague live and let live, this vague secularism and vague for the good of everyone as best we can. But what the hell do they stand on? Can a brother get a thou shalt not steal? Can a brother get a thou shalt not kill that people are willing to stand on, that they're willing to become discomforted by? Atheists is this general self-testicular massaging, feel-good everythingism that adds up to nothing whatsoever. Atheism is the crumbling of the West. Because as I've said before, atheists rip down Christian morality, and they damn well should have put up another morality that was absolute. Job one, if you're driving people out of a place of shelter, is to build them a new place of shelter. Otherwise, they're just sitting there in the storm, getting their ass lit up by lightning. And atheists didn't do any of that. Enough with Christian morality, hedonism, government, secularism. What the hell do they stand for? What the fuck does an atheist stand for? I have no idea. Other than snooty superiority. Do they have property rights? Do they have the non-aggression principle? Do they have anti-statism? Do they have anti-violence? Can a brother get an anti-spanking? A little bit more in the atheist community to some degree, but that's partly because they don't have to teach their kids hell and all of that. But what do they stand for? What do they stand for? Do they stand against violence? Well, if they stood against violence, they would be against the state, and they'd recognize that taxation is theft. But they don't do that. So, I don't know what atheists stand for. I certainly don't know what leftists stand for, other than power, control, free resources, short time preferences, and wanting to verbally or physically destroy anyone who gets between them and their free stuff. But as far as atheists go, I mean, you got prominent atheists taking massive amounts of money from the state. You got prominent atheists who hate Donald Trump. Why? Why? Because he's a nationalist? Compared to what? Compared to international globalism, which is basically just communism on slow motion. Well, not so slow motion anymore. What do atheists stand for? They stand against God, which makes them useful idiots for people who want to overthrow the West. They stand against Christianity, which make them useful idiots for people who want to overthrow the ethics of Christianity. The Christians are for small government, atheists are for big government. That's all you need to know. And therefore, atheists are far more dangerous than Christians on average and in general. And please, for God's sakes, don't be a stupid atheist and write to me or write underneath this, well, I'm an atheist and I'm into small government. Yeah, got it. You're just a precious fucking snowflake. You're so special, it's wonderful. The fact that you can't understand statistical averages and that atheists are many, many, many times more likely to support big government and leftist policies than non-atheists, like dozens of times more likely. The fact that you know, when people make a generality and then someone's like, well, I don't fit into that generality. I don't even know what to say. All you're doing is clogging up the works for people trying to get adult work done. You need to go back to the kids' table and stop wasting everyone's time with your stupid emotional defensiveness. So,
So the point I'm getting to is when people claim that religion or Christianity will save us, are they so sure about that? And is it so black and white? Because from what I can observe, there has been a severe cultural backlash. And I was wanting to know if you think this holds any weight to it. And as well, I did have...
So I think I understand. What you're saying is that atheists associated small government with Christianity, and when they threw out Christianity, they threw out small government. It's the baby with the bathwater thing, right?
That is essentially what I'm saying,
right.
Yes.
So that means that atheists are retarded, emotionally reactive idiots who can't think their way out of a paper bag or reason from first principles to save not only their life, but the life of their entire fucking civilization. Because if you're like, well, that Satanist drives a red car. I don't like Satan, therefore I'm never going to drive a red car. You know, this guy is a sociopath, and he's also really good at using ABC technique as a heart surgeon. Therefore, nobody should ever use ABC technique as a heart surgeon because that guy's a sociopath. I mean, it's stupid. If you're going to reason from first principles, then reason from first principles. If reason is better than faith and reason is better than force, then you should be for small government because government is force. It's not that complicated. So, but if they're like, well, I just dislike everyone who's Christian and everything that is even remotely or tangentially associated with Christian beliefs. Well, gosh, that must be quite something. Wow, we should bring back slavery, you might say. Because it was Christians who abolished slavery, and I dislike everything to do with Christianity, so let's bomb churches and bring back slavery. Can't wait for that to be taken out of context. So, yeah, you could be right. Maybe it's just all emotionally reactive bullshit. In which case, it just shows you that atheism is an unthought out, emotionally reactive position that's utilized by leftists to shrink the power of Christianity and grow the power of the state. And they're useful axle greases for the rolling livestock carrying thunderbolts and trains of state power. So, yeah, I mean, you could be right, but it just means that they're not rational. They're just emotionally immature.